Welcome to Talking Giants, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Penik, and we've got ourselves a Sunday night football preview going against one of the best offenses in football, one of the worst defenses in football, and the opportunity to go 3-3 and have people overreact to a Giants victory, which is what I want, right? I want people saying, maybe the Giants are for real, right? People love to overreact to primetime. Let's have them overreact to a positive and the Giants victory. Justin, how are you?
Nah, screw that. It won't be an overreaction. It won't. Let's get back to 500. Let's get to 500 in the middle of October for a, second half-ish push, mid-quarter push, whatever. Dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get to MetLife Stadium. I'm excited to get there at like fucking 1:45 in the afternoon to tailgate. The tailgate tickets, the link is in the description. Please come to the tailgate. Please come to this game. This is a huge game, man. I'm so excited. It's a tough opponent. I'm looking forward to the challenge, Bobby Skinner. The Bengals are a good football team. They are a scary football team. The Giants need to prepare to put on their track shoes and score 30 points. They got to be prepared to score some points, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity. So excited to get to MetLife Stadium. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I actually disagree. I think they're a bad football team, but they are a awesome offense. But we're going to talk about their defense first, Justin, because that's the more favorable matchup for the Giants. But before we get into that, I want to thanks just one person. Actually, no, two. I think we maybe two. We already did Joshua Rojas because I made a joke about that. Daniel Macon. Daniel's making the Giants win this Sunday night. Justin, who is Daniel?
Making bacon. Patreon.com/TalkOfGiants for $2 a month plus some other cheers to get to hang out with us live while we record the shows. Hang out with us live on a Victory Monday. We'll probably be 1 or 2 a.m. celebrating a Giants victory against the Cincinnati Bengals, and the fact that we're freaking 3-3 in the middle of October. Bobby Skinner will also send you some stickers in the mail once the post office cooperates with the hurricane, and we'll also do some shirt raffles. That's what we do, too, a couple times a month. Patreon.com/TalkOfGiants. Thank you so much to our patrons. We love you so much. Let's freaking go.
You guys make the world go around. Do you think Malik Nabers is playing in this game? Because it's hard to judge because it's a concussion protocol thing. And I really want him to have this Sunday night football game against the Bengals, Justin.
The optimist in me says yes, and the pessimistic person in me says no. Because if he were to play, it kind of feels like we would get somewhat more of a positive development in his status. But the fact that we're banking on a last minute, Friday's usually probably like a little bit of a walkthrough, and the fact that we're banking on Malik Nabers just now getting involved in this week's game plan and now getting involved in the progression of how the week usually works in the NFL on Friday, I'm not feeling hopeful, Bobby Skinner.
Yeah, so if you haven't been paying attention, he did not practice Wednesday or Thursday.
He's getting close, whatever that means, but you have to practice.
You have to have like basically like some practice action or physical action to pass the final step into the concussion protocol, and so that means Friday's practice really is the only time that can happen now. And maybe when the majority of people listen to this, they'll probably know. So we hope he'll play, but right now I'm going to assume that he's not going to. And if he does, there'll be a nice
surprise.
A very nice surprise. But the real weakness of this Bengals defense, because they're number 30, they're the number 31 defense in the NFL. Their passing defense isn't totally awful. It's certainly not good. But this run defense stinks, right? This is an awful rushing unit, right? They're 31st in rushing yards per game, 150 yards per game. And you're like, oh, well, maybe it's because teams are up. Nope, they're 32nd in success rate, right? Which means, what percentage of runs against them are successful? 4 yards on first down, then percentages on second and third down and all that good shit. If the Giants get cute in this game, it's going to drive me nuts. Because you had the Cowboys who were this awful run defense that they went into that game in, and they tried to be this zone running offense, and that's not what they are. We have seen a 5-game sample size when they run man duo concepts, like we talked about in the mailbag, like we talk about all this year. I don't think we've ever talked about run concepts as much as we have this season. When they run zone, they are bad. When they run duo and man and power and gap scheme stuff, they are good. So if they get cute in this game and try and attack the Bengals run defense the way other teams have, because that's what makes them successful, instead of leaning into their identity as a run game, I'm going to lose my mind, because the Giants are two different rushing offenses when they, running zone versus man. Get big on big, make their linebackers make plays, make, Von Bell make, plays in the box, and run at them. Again, I'm not saying you need to run the ball all game, right? I'm not saying you need first down, second down. But when you run, you need to lean into your strength and not what the Bengals have given up, have how the Bengals have gotten beat, essentially.
Yeah, and even though some of their raw numbers are decent against the pass, they are 29th in dropback per EPA, but they're even worse against the run, where they are 31st in rush per EPA per rush as a defense. Only the Dallas Cowboys are worse, but the Giants didn't have success against Cowboys, and that's one of the reasons why, is because we've been talking about this all year long. Stick to your identity. Bobby, I think this is a game where it needs to be similar to that Seattle game. They have to be explosive. They have to stay ahead of the sticks, and that a running game is going to be a huge part of that. I mean, we saw Tyrone Tracy with those runs of 10-plus yards, the runs of 15-plus mile an hour. I feel like that stuff is going to be there for the Giants. I feel like anything that they want, even without Malik Neighbors, anything that they kind of want can be available for them, because they are going to have to score a lot of points. And to score a lot of points, you're going to have to do what works for you. And doing what works for this Giants rushing offense is exactly what you're talking about. Running duo, and also holding on to the damn ball if you're Devin Singletary and you're cleared. But I would like to see some drives of Tyrone Tracy, some drives of Devin Singletary, and if anybody emerges clear as the hot hand, then you stick with them. That's how I'm approaching this kind of early game.
Absolutely, and I think Tracy has earned some right to get his share of carries, right? Make this a 50-50 or a 60-40 split. I think he's earned that, and the little bit that he's played so far in the NFL. But just don't get cute in your run game, right? Like, we've seen it over and over. It's been a critique of Brian Daboll all the way back to Buffalo. This is we know what you're good at in the run game. Stick to it, right? We've seen both backs be better in that stuff than the zone running stuff. Don't get away from that. And then as far as like the pass game goes for the Giants, and we don't know if Neighbors is going to play, which I think is a big loss. I think it is a big loss. This is a put their linebackers in conflict game. Like, they just make a lot of mental mistakes. They're not the most athletic guys in the world, and they are a zone coverage team. They don't play a ton of man. And you have time to put guys in conflict, right? Whether that's this isn't a game where I'm saying we got to air the ball out, right? Just put guys in conflict and make the right decisions. Because here's the thing, Justin, you're going to have all day to throw the ball. This is the worst pass rush in the league. I really think so. They have Trey Hendrickson,
who's good,
who's really good.
But I think he's accounting for like 30 or 40% of like all their pressure.
Yeah, well, they have 6 sacks on the season. That's awful. That is awful. They have 6 total sacks on the season. That's probably 32nd. I should have looked that up beforehand. And then their one good guy who has 3 of those 6 is Trey Hendrickson. Well, guess what? They only line him up on the left tackle. So you're going to get Andrew Thomas versus him all game. So even if Trey Hendrickson has some wins, he will not have a dominant game. Daniel Jones is going to have all day to throw. I know they got Miles Murphy back last week, and he had a little bit of success. So, but I expect Illuminor to win that battle. They're going to have all day to throw the ball, Justin.
The Atlanta Falcons are last with 5 sacks, and the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Carolina Panthers are tied for 31st with 6 sacks. And then where are they in pressure rate? They're not far from the bottom either. They're a bottom 8 team, bottom 7 team in pressure rate as well. So,
I think those numbers even lie, because they have a Trey Hendrickson, but the issue is like, okay, Trey Hendrickson can win, but if only one of your rushers can win, well, then you're not really winning as a rush unit, because that you're easily able to avoid that one player. So it's like, despite the fact that Hendrickson's being so good, he has 3 sacks on the year, even though if you watch him, he's been balling. But now he gets to, we get Andrew Thomas that matchup. We're gonna have all day to throw. Like this Daniel Jones needs to have a really good game, right? I don't know how much they're going to pass versus run. I'm not coming into this game saying you need to pass 75% of the time or run the damn ball all game. I think you can take what they are giving you offensively, but I think both the pass and the run game both have to have good games. Like that should be the expectation. This is a bad defense. I know even if I won't even say I'm expecting the Giants to fully win, right? But I am expecting the offense to have a really good game. I am the expectation for this offense to have a really good game. And if you don't, I think it's kind of embarrassing that if you go on Sunday Night Football and you don't have a good offensive game versus an awful defense.
No, I agree. The Giants offense if they are going to win this game, I think they need to score, like I said, 30 points. I think that needs to happen. And even, the Bengals defense on third down, they're 21st in EPA per play, but in terms of third down percentage, they're 31st. They're a lot. Ironically enough, their offense is converting third downs at a 47.5% rate. Their opponents are converting third downs at a 47.5% click as well. And their fourth down defense has not been good as well. I think the Giants are leading the league in third downs, which is not great. Like third down attempts, which you could look at it from both ways. You can look at it from, they're sustaining drives, which the Giants are. The Giants are one of the best in the NFL in terms of plays ran per drive and average time of possession. But you do want to cut down on facing those third downs. But also, I'm not shaking in my boots if there are 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8s, because they have a pass rush that doesn't necessarily scare us. And I'm confident that the Giants will be able to throw the ball this game. If anything, the Giants have been a top team on third down in terms of EPA per play. They have been one of the best teams since week 1. So you don't want to rely on that. You don't love living in a third and long world and being efficient in it, but it's kind of what they've been. And it may happen against the Bengals.
And you know what? I've been very critical of the Wan'Dale Robinson third down approach from the Giants, or just the Wan'Dale Robinson usage in general. I disagree with myself in this game. I think this is a great matchup for Wan'Dale Robinson because their linebackers are struggling in conflict, because their linebackers aren't overly athletic.
Dax Hill is out for the year now, who was their best corner. Shout out to me. I love Dax Hill. Drafted him in a mock draft a couple years ago.
That was actually DJ Turner you drafted.
Oh.
I like Dax Hill.
Dax Hill went to Michigan?
They both went to Michigan.
Oh. I'll have to look at the receipts.
I know you did take DJ Turner in a mock draft, who had been awful, but Wan'Dale Robinson, needs to have. I think this is a really good game for Wan'Dale Robinson, and it's not just the PPR scam that he's been running all year. I mean, is there anything else on the Giants' offense versus their defense? Like Daniel Jones, man. Like, you want to continue get the ball, this ball rolling. I'm not again deep attempts, whatever. I'm just expecting a good game, right? I'm not saying that they need to air it out in this game. There should be some opportunities there, but Daniel Jones needs to play well in this game. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Are you of the opinion that the Giants need to score 30-plus points to win this game?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. Could I be like, well, I could see like a 29-26 game. Yes, I think they do, because I don't love the Giants' defense versus their offense.
Yeah, I think more importantly, because of course, can the Giants win a game 24-21 against the Bengals? Yes, but I think more importantly, I think that needs to be the approach in the building, and that needs to be the offensive approach. Being like, listen, hey, we love our defense, we love our guys, we know our guys can make a play, but hey, let's go, let's gear up, and we know that we're playing an offense on the other side that's going to want to score points. They're going to want to score a lot of points. They're going to score them in bunches. Burrow's playing well. Let's respond to that. We have an opponent that we know that we can beat, that we know that we could take advantage of. We've put up some good offensive performances in the past. They got it. Here's the X factor. Fucking convert in the red zone, because you're good at moving the ball down the field. They're good at average time of possession, yards per drive. But get back to your 2022 roots of being a kick-ass top 5, top 3 team inside the red zone. None of this settling for field goals bullshit. None of it. You got to score 7 points when you get in the red zone. Boom.
Absolutely. Don't give Eric Gray carries in the red zone. How about that?
Do you want to talk about something?
Why don't you talk about something?
I will talk to you about something, and I'll talk to you about Captain Morgan, because this episode is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spice rum of the NFL, and the official spice rum of the Talkin' Giants L16 tailgate. Man, gear up. Like, this is a big game. I understand, the Snakewan will be returning next week against for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's a big game, and there's going to be a buzz in the parking lot for that. But get here. It's a Sunday night game. Get there early. Hang out with us. Get $25 tickets, Candlewick Diners Catering. Tickets are in the description. But Captain Morgan, the NFL season is where legends are born. Come be a legend with us in L16, on and off the field. Some are last-second plays that turn the tide and change a team's destiny, while others are friends who follow the captain within to make a regular get-together into the stuff of legends. Grab your crew, grab a captain and a cola, and make it a story to remember, because legends start when you follow the captain. Bobby Skinner. Visit followthecaptain.com for more. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spice Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company in New York, New York. You'll be glad you did. Captain Morgan's been with us every step of the way so far this season. They've enjoyed the wins. They've enjoyed the Victory Mondays, and there's more where that came from. Thank you, Captain Morgan. You'll be glad you did.
Glad you did. The Bengals offense is really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Joe Burrow might be the MVP favorite if they were 3-2.
I just said the same thing on our Football Today preview show. If they were even close to somewhat 500, Joe Burrow is the favorite for MVP. Absolutely. He has the stats.
I mean, he's 12 touchdowns or most in the NFL. They're the number 5 passing offense. Only 2 interceptions to go with it. Burrow's playing really well, getting the ball out quick. He's not getting pressured. The offensive line's doing well. He's just getting the ball in the right spot. Like this is like the Bengals, like peak Bengals offense, right? You're getting Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are playmakers. You're getting the ball in their hands. They're making plays down the field. They're making yak plays from screens. Burrow is making his tight ends useful, right? He's getting 63 yards per game from their tight ends collectively. That's a really high number, and it's not a great unit. I don't think Gesicki's going to play in this game. He didn't practice on Wednesday. Haven't heard about Thursday yet. They're balling, and the Giants probably are going to be without Kayvan. And here's my hope for this game, is that we can find a way to get Dexter Lawrence to make a real difference. We need him to be really disruptive, because you need to have the threat of 5-man rushes, but you can't go blitz heavy because Burrow's great against the blitz.
They're going to burn you.
But you have to create ways to get Dex one-on-ones. I think you have to do that to beat this team, because I know Banks and Flott have had, Banks had a good game last week. Flott's made some plays on the ball. I don't care. I'm not confident at all on those matchups on the outside. Not at all. And I just can't live going through this game and being like, Dex was doubled the entire time. Because I think Orlando Brown's going to win the matchup with Brian Burns. You have no Kayvan Thibodeaux on the other side. I need them to give Dex an opportunity to win this game for them.
They are top 7 in the following drives. Actually, do they have a little bit of a weakness here? No, they don't. I lied. They do not have a weakness. They're top 7 in the following categories. Scoring rate per drive, percentage of drives ending in an offensive score, average number of plays per drive, net yards per drive, average time per drive, and points per drive. Points per drive, they're second. So that's my question to you, Bobby, because Joe Burrow's average time in the pocket is 2.2 seconds. That is insanely quick. And Burrow is not a scrambler. That's Burrow getting rid of the football, I think on average of like 2.4, 2.5 seconds. That's what he averages, which, by the way, the Giants, the opponents that the Giants are playing this year, the average the average time to throw for Giants opponents this year is like 2.5 seconds, which is second quickest in the NFL. So, like, my overall question to you is, you can't get aggressive, but how aggressive can you get when you have Joe Burrow in this offense that is going to get rid of the ball? Joe Burrow is the best quarterback at the NFL at avoiding pressure. I think according to Pro Football Reference, a 12% pressure rate this year. That's insanely low. Last year was 18%, and that's also pretty low. So he's reduced it this year. Like, what's how do you attack? I don't know how to attack.
It's like what you're saying is kind of true, because this is a really tough matchup. Because Joe Burrow's playing so well and he's not turning over the ball at all. And they're gonna have like 2 great matchups on the outside, like Jamar Chase versus Deontay Banks and T. Higgins versus Cordell Flott. Those are really good matchups for them. I don't care, even if Banks was playing up to what we thought he could be this year. Jamar Chase is just a different animal, right? Like he's better than DK Metcalf, who Banks got the better of last week. And then they have a T. Higgins on the opposite side. And then we know how Burrow can use his tight end so well, right? I don't think there's anyone who's better at getting the most out of his tight end spot than Joe Burrow, right? Like, I know the Giants tight ends haven't had a bunch of receiving yards this year. I guarantee if they were on the Bengals, they'd be averaging 50 to 60 yards per game out of them. So the answer is just not easy because they're playing very well.
Here's my answer. My answer is
that they can't sustain. It's basically stopping them in the red zone. That's the answer.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Red zone.
You have to force them to run 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 play drives, and you need to force field goals or turnovers. Hey, fucking Deontay Banks, get your hand on some Bobby Okereke, punch some footballs out. If guys are tipping balls up in the air, you got to come down with those interceptions. I really think it's going to be some of the little things that are going to be the difference between a win and a loss. Another positive special teams play that's going to separate you, right? Or not making the mistake on special teams, even though us fumbling the opening kickoff or fumbling the opening drive and allowing the other team to score is somewhat of a positive thing for us. That's what I think is going to be the difference in this game. Is you have to limit the explosive play. You have to force them to run 10, 11, 12, 13 play drives and force them to make a mistake. And if that mistake winds up in 3 points, great. If that mistake forces them to punt because of a hold or a penalty or a false start or something, great. I think that's what you're kind of banking on this game. And that's why you need your offense to show up.
Yeah, and I hate playing defense that way. I really do. But I think the way you can, besides just like playing a bend don't break defense, which I hate. I hate doing that. But you can't run like a blitz. Burrow kills those blitz heavy defenses.
It's not even going to get home.
Like he might have got Wink. He might be the reason Wink was left in Baltimore as Joe Burrow. Is like just throw different things at their front. Right? Because they don't like to run the ball, even though they're not the worst. Like they are 28th in rushing yards per game. But they're 18th in yards per carry, 13th in success rate, and that doesn't they're one of the only teams in the NFL these days that gets no contribution from their quarterback. In that category, they split Chase Brown and Zach Moss's snaps basically 50-50. I think Chase Brown's the better back right now. But they don't like to run the ball. Like that's just a Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow offense doesn't like to run the ball. They like to run 5 out. So it's just create ways for Dex to get one-on-ones, and like you said, you got to clamp down the red zone. I know it sounds simple, and but that's kind of the way, because you can't just bring it at them. Brian Burns needs to dominate Orlando Brown. Like realistically, it needs to be a bit of a bend don't break defense, and then like on the flip side that we said, Justin, offense has got to win this game. Like this game, the Giants should be relying on their offense to win the game. Again, if they score 31 points, then we need to score. The expectation needs to be to score 32.
Yes, I agree. Little things. The defense is going to stand out in the little things that they're able to do. If there's a ball that's in the air that's tipped, come down with it, force a fumble. If the ball's on the ground, you got to fall on it. And I think that's where the defense can possibly win this game. That's where the Ravens defense helped win it from last week. They made a play on special team or missed extra point or missed field goal by McPherson, and you take advantage of it. That's that the Bengals have found ways to lose. Don't be a team that finds a way to lose this game. Let the Bengals do that for themselves.
News: Kayvan is going to be out probably close to 6 weeks, Justin, with an injury to his wrist. Not losing like Dexter Lawrence or anything, but I actually would have been not. I haven't been like Kayvan's dominating out there, but Kayvan to me has been playing better than what he did last year when he had all those sacks. He was 27th out of 68 edge rushers and pass rush win rate. Like for comparison, Brian Burns was 30th last year. He was like 63rd out of 68. And I said it before we knew about this injury on the mailbag pod, Justin, and before I saw these numbers as well, I was like, I think Kayvan's actually winning on a more consistent basis than Brian Burns. It's just when Brian Burns wins, it's just way nastier. Now at the same time, like Kayvan hasn't been playing at the level I hoped for out of the 5th overall pick a couple years ago, but like he has been playing well and forcing, like, he created the sacks for DJ Davidson, and he's made plays on the football, right? Yeah, the sack on Dak Prescott versus the Cowboys. Like, I think Kayvan Thibodeaux has actually been playing pretty well. So losing him hurts. I don't think it's the end of the world for this Giants team, but their strength has been, getting after the quarterback, leading the NFL in sacks, and they lost, their third best guy. So that sucks.
Yeah, it does. I would say against the Bengals this Sunday, it's not the worst thing because of how fast the ball gets out of Joe Burrow's hands. Azeez Ojulari has been playing well. He hasn't been playing as well as Kayvan, but Azeez Ojulari has made some plays, but the depth gets thinner, and that's the thing that sucks. So I'm guessing that just based on how the schedule works, 4 weeks is Carolina, but then if you sit out that Carolina game and that's in Germany, then week 11's the bye, and then you come back towards the end of November, week 12 for the Buccaneers game, and hey, there's even the possibility that he could be wearing a club, and that's always fun to see. Oh
yeah, I think a club makes you stronger.
Apparently, this isn't the worst injury. Like, a lot of the people are like, this isn't the worst of injuries to have. He had surgery. I think he just got to heal from that. So
yeah, I'm glad it's not some major injury that has him out long term or anything. But it does suck to lose him for this time. The Giants.
It does.
You know what? I'm not going to say it. Definitely not going to say it. I'm not going to do what you did on Wednesday. So yeah,
right.
this is a tough ass game, right? Like, I know everyone we're high on the Seahawks win and the Bengals defense stinks. This is going to be a tough ass game, right? Like, going against this Bengals offense is nothing to blink at. I know they're 1-4, but they're going to win some games this year. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to win some games this year. Prime time Sunday Night Football. Go out there and score more points than them, right? Like, think about the reaction to the Commanders win, over the Bengals on Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, go out and freaking do it. No excuses, right? This team wants to be real. Go beat the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. I don't care how good their offense is on the other side.
And come to the tailgate.
Yeah, tailgate's going to be crazy. So go out and check it out. And also, if you go to the tailgate, you want to smell good. And with the hurricane that I just experienced, old Milton, everyone's been saying Milton's a white name, Justin. Okay. The only Miltons I've ever met in my life are black. So, like, I don't know where this idea that Milton's is this white hurricane name. But I'm sure you heard me talk about Mando whole body deodorant at this point, right? Because we love it. But I had to use it because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be out of power. I got to have some fresh deodorant, right? Especially if you're not going to have hot water. That sucks. So, but you can use it on your whole body. Yes, your whole body. It's dermatologist tested and gentle on all your bits, right? So it's not just your underarms, right? That's why it's better than the other ones. The whole body deodorant Mando is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, packages, belly buttons, butt cracks, stinky crevices, stomach folds, and your feet. You can put it on your feet. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Mando is American made. How about that? Made in America. Mando whole body deodorant is powerful enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough to use everywhere, allowing you to put Mando on family jewels without even worrying, because Mando is awesome. It's the best. It's the best. And I had it for the hurricane, and my brother's power's out, my parents' power's out. I'm like, you got to get Mando. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. I just shipped my pants. Luckily, I have a whole discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code TalkinGiants at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. You'll be glad you did. All right, we now welcome on our weatherman, Jolly Olive, onto the show. Jolly, where was your hurricane coverage? What's going on? This is supposed to be a weatherman's dream, and I didn't see shit.
Well, I was kind of swept up with other stuff, but also I'm seeing a lot of reports of a hurricane in Florida, and yeah, I was down there, and I actually didn't see anything. So I think the media is probably lying to people for personal gain.
What's with
there was
Hurricane
no
Nadine?
rainstorm, and yeah, I mean, if your house gets torn down by a hurricane named Milton, I mean, you got bigger
We just
problems.
did this.
Hurricane
Milton.
Nadine.
Milton.
One of the toughest people I know's name was Milton. Like, he literally fell out of a tree, broke his back, walked to the truck, and we drove him to the hospital. Like, Milton's a tough name.
Well, I'm Milton.
Well, what's up
It's a
with Hurricane
Jamaican
Nadine?
name.
Hurricane Nadine.
Never heard of her.
Nadine these nuts.
I didn't bite that because I knew you were going to say that. Also, not good. Not good. Did you even know about Hurricane Ken?
Ken who?
Ken, these nuts fit in your mouth.
Ah.
Jesus.
This idea that Milton's some like weak name drives me
You're holding
nuts.
on to this too much. You're making it seem weaker by defending it too much.
Well, what's the weather looking like MetLife Sunday Night Football?
Oh, please.
You want to talk about real rain? You'll see some real rain this Sunday
Stop.
night.
Are you fucking joking?
Yeah, Sunday night, because we have a prime time game, Giants-Bengals.
I didn't
I'm
realize
expecting some showers. Nothing crazy, you know. I mean, it's not going to be a pleasant watch if you're at the stadium, but you'll get some rain. Humid rain, mid-50s is what we're expecting down in the swamp.
You were wrong, by the way.
MetLife. What do you mean?
There was the most recent Thursday night game against the Cowboys. You said it was going to rain. Didn't rain at all.
Okay, sometimes weathermen are wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
no.
you shouldn't be wrong this early in your career.
What do you mean? It's week 6. How many times is a weatherman wrong a week? Twice?
See, Dan, this is what happens. Is usually weathermen are great, and then they get caught up in like the whole media of it.
No,
and they
I'm letting
lie.
you know exactly who I am early
Chance
on in
of
my
rain,
career.
50%.
Yeah,
All right, so give us. It's going to rain, yes or no? Because
it's going to rain.
Okay, good. Because young up and coming weathermen, they just say this is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to
As
happen.
they get older, they get job security, and they go, it may, it might, I don't know. All right, so it's going to rain. If it
It is
doesn't rain,
going to rain on Sunday.
tweet
And
at
if it's
Jolly
not,
Olive.
what are you going to do? Fire me?
No, it's not my
Possibly.
decision.
You didn't come. We've had 2 hurricanes since you've been the weatherman, and you haven't come down for either one of them.
I've been busy. My Mets, they're doing big things,
All right.
Bobby.
Imagine if I told my boss I'm busy, and we are your boss, Jolly. Me and Justin are your bosses now.
Yeah, we'll see.
So it's going to rain for how long?
How long? I'd say probably the first quarter of the game.
Okay, first quarter game's going to rain. It's going to stop in the second quarter.
And if I nail that, I'm allowed to get the next 10 weeks wrong.
I can deal with that.
No, you're not. What do we got for trivia this week?
Trivia is pretty straightforward. Last week was a crazy swing. Justin Penik got all 3 available points. Bobby didn't get any because he submitted one wrong name. So Penik actually leads this year's trivia standings by a score of 8-7. The winner with the most points at the end of the year will get a Giants jersey of their choosing, courtesy of me, because I'm just such a nice guy. This one's pretty straightforward. 1 question, 1 answer. 1 choice for you guys. Nothing crazy. Only 1 player in NFL history has scored a receiving touchdown for both the Giants and the Bengals. Who is that player? I will tell you. He played for one of these teams as recently as 2021.
One of these teams as recently as 2021. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Nope, that wasn't 2021. I was going to say Tanner Hudson. I don't think he ever scored a touchdown for the Giants.
What do you think, Justin Penik? I feel like you never answer first.
He doesn't.
Well, that's because I text.
Oh, you texted it. Very noble.
I didn't text you. I have a text ready.
Yeah, I have no text from you. You can send your text if you want. Bobby, you can do the same.
I need
Well,
a second,
if Justin's sending the text, I will say mine out loud.
Okay. I kind of like our text system.
But then, I mean, the listeners probably don't love that.
No, they don't love it.
Brian Leonard.
People are listening to this?
2021.
I got Justin's looking.
I mean,
up all
Bobby
the
gave me a
answers.
name, so I'll just. He already gave the name.
What name?
Tanner Hudson.
You said Tanner Hudson. Bobby, you submitting Tanner Hudson?
No, because he said as recently as 2021, Tanner Hudson's on the Bengals now.
I know, and he also played for the Giants before 2000.
Well, that's your answer. I have
That's
a
my
text
answer.
from-
So I can't think of anybody else.
Bobby?
I'm gonna kick myself.
Oh, John Ross.
We were looking for number 9 overall pick in the 2017 draft for the Bengals, John Ross, who
Nice
caught
job.
1 touchdown with the
Did you
New
get
York
that,
Giants
Justin?
in 2021.
No, I'm clapping for you. That was well
I
done.
can't believe I didn't get that. If no
And
one
10.
got
I
me,
honestly
know John
thought that
Ross
was going
got
to
me.
be
Can I
a
get in
clean
John
one for
Ross?
both of you.
I know.
So,
The
Bobby,
Saints
kudos to you. You've now tied the trivia standings 8-8. Hey, great showing for the boys. 6 weeks, we're all tied up. Like that.
Thank you.
big.
John Ross, one of our biggest film breakdowns that we ever did. Can I get an John Ross? He's it hurt. It broke my heart to see him lose the 40-time record this year to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I forgot. It was his record.
Yeah.
Shit.
Still think DJ Ware more impressive getting it last week. Thank you.
You're holding on to
awesome
last
think.
week still? Come on.
Yep, holding on to last week.
Come on.
All right, so that's trivia. So we're tied up. All right, so for fantasy, I'm in first. I'm having a great year with I had 54 points last week. I'm in first. Justin passed Jolly for second with a 40-point outing. He's 41.7 points back. And then Jolly, even though we texted him like 3 different times to
This is on
trade
me.
Devin
It's on
Singletary,
me.
he didn't trade Devin
It's on me.
Singletary. He's in last. He's 45.8 points back. He lost 33 points. He lost 33 points in the standings. Justin, you have the first pick this week. Who are you going to go with?
I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. Hopefully the fact that I'm not picking a Giant, I'm picking a Bengal means that it's bad for me. I will take a bad fantasy output day if I have that power to control that. Give me Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's the easy 1-1 in this game. Especially without, if we don't know Neighbors is going to play, it looks like he's not going to. Jolly, who is your first pick?
Well, I would love to take Neighbors here, but yeah, I just don't think he's going to play. So I'm between 2. I'm between T. Higgins and Slayton. Slayton had such a nice game last week. Also, Zach Moss is in my brain a little bit. I know Penik wants me to take Mike Gesicki. I'm not going to do that.
He may not play either.
He may not play either. I'll go with my guy. I'll go with Darius Slayton. I hope he keeps the momentum going. I know that this is potential boom or bust here, but I kind of need a boom because I had a bad fantasy showing last week. I'll take Darius Slayton.
Yeah, you kind of need a boom. Shout out.
6 on the big board.
He's what on your big board?
6.
6.
It's fine. I'm not a big board subscriber. I've made this known.
Okay.
Yeah, you're also in last place. That was a hard pick.
Toxic.
All right, I got back-to-back picks. I was like, I was really worried about having this pick. So I'm gonna give my support, and I'm gonna go Wan'Dale Robinson first, even though he's third on my big board, and then T. Higgins with my second pick. I was really worried that I have to take a running back from a split running back situation or go Darius Slayton. So this makes me feel a lot better about it. So I think this is a big Wan'Dale Robinson game. I think he maybe bounces back in people's favor a little bit, so he'll have a big impact, especially if they win. And then T. Higgins is just, he's the second best player in this draft. Jolly, what's your second pick?
I will now take Zach Moss.
Okay.
Okay.
Justin, you have I'm trying to be nice. Justin, you have back-to-back picks.
Has nobody taken T. Higgins yet?
Well, come on,
Probably
dude. I just did a thing about T. Higgins.
Can you wake up, please? Jesus.
All right, I'll take Chase Brown. Even though I should have gone with the Giant first. Damn it. I'll take Chase Brown. He has 23.2
No
and
faith,
16
this guy.
and 16.4. Well, no, I'm probably going to if T. Higgins is gone, I'm probably going to Oh, you know what? There's a Bengal here that's kind of underrated.
We have back-to-back picks. So you got Chase Brown and who else?
Chase Brown. Well, I'm not done talking about Chase Brown. He has
Unbelievable.
He has 3 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, 23.2 and 16.4 fantasy points the last 2 weeks. Do I go with the Bengals number 3 receiver that catches a lot of touchdowns, or do I go with one of the Giants running backs? You know, he's coming off of a fun week. Give me Tyrone Tracy.
Nice.
Ooh. That's a risky pick, even though I kind of love it. Because you never know. Like, the Giants could be like, yeah, sick game. You're still the clear running back, too. So, I like it. All right, Jolly, what's your third pick? And remember, we are in a tradable slot here.
I was going to say, I think I'm just going to punch the Malik Neighbors ticket, and I'll trade him if I have to, but I don't want to let Bobby get his hands on him, and then if he plays, Bobby has a monster week and just puts away the season. So I'm going to take
I was
Malik
really hoping
Neighbors.
to get Neighbors this week.
I'm going to take him here.
All right, so you're taking Malik. Neighbors. All right, so I'm getting number 2, 3, and 4 on my big board. I'm going Devin Singletary. This is a big run the ball game for the Giants. He is their running back one, in my opinion. And damn it, Gesicki may not play. Oh, I'm gonna look at something real quick. I'm gonna go a little bit off the path. I didn't expect to be in this spot.
Because everything's
You know
just
what? I'm
going
gonna
so
go
well
safe.
for
I'm
him.
gonna go safe.
He's got 2, 3, 4 on his board.
Part of me wants to take Eric All if Gesicki doesn't play, but I'm just gonna go their starting slot and Andre Yashovas out of Princeton, who me and Justin saw. Oshivas at the Senior Bowl.
He's like their red zone merchant right now. He catches a shit ton of touchdown passes.
Yeah, and we talked about before, we need the red zone defense to be good. So
Red zone merchant is crazy.
It is.
all right, Jolly, your last pick.
Yes, I will right a wrong from last week. I will now select Theo Johnson when I should have traded for him last week.
Why are you not taking Jalen Hyatt?
I need points.
Okay.
I need points.
He's a starting wide receiver.
True. Don't play me. I'm taking Theo Johnson.
At some point, Jalen Hyatt will have a catch.
Well, Penik can take him. He still has 1 pick left.
No, I'm not doing that.
Take your guy.
That's crazy. A starting wide receiver, we're just not taking.
I mean, I could take a Bengals tight end.
I mean, what you there is something you should do here, especially knowing what you think about this player, because it's a tradable slot. It's the last pick, so there's really no risk involved unless.
all right, then I should just take Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
And then I'll just get one of the other Bengals tight ends, or I could even take Eric Gray if he catches a screen or something.
Yeah, but hey, you guys need to be paying attention because you guys both have guys that might not play. So who you trade for can make a difference.
I'm good for it.
All right, Jolly will definitely be paying attention to it when we're begging him to make a trade.
Yeah, and
It was a busy
Mets
day.
game, and there's a Mets game on.
You
this
had
Sunday,
a busy day. I had a busy day.
You responded to a text saying, "Yeah,
You said maybe I should do Theo Johnson.
And then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
All right, to recap, myself in first is Wan'Dale Robinson, T. Higgins, Devin Singletary, and Andre, whatever his last name
Yoshivas.
is. Justin in
I'm not even
second.
sure that's it either.
I remember I learned how to pronounce it for the TPP, and then I forgot. He's
Just
from
say it
Princeton.
confidently.
Justin Yashovas. Justin has Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, Tyrone Trace, and Mike Gesicki. No faith. And then Jolly has Darius Slayton, Zach Moss, Malik Neighbors, and Theo Johnson. How about that? All right, it's time for Giant Factors of the Week. Justin, you got the first pick this week.
A lot of people may say Azeez Ojulari. I'm looking at the wrong camera. A lot of people may say Azeez Ojulari because Kayvan's out. We need the pass rusher to step up. I don't know how much impact the pass rush is going to have this game, guys. I don't know. Joe Burrow gets rid of the ball quick. His average time in the pocket is 2.2 seconds, like we said at the top of the show. But there's another guy on defense who has stepped up the last 2 weeks, but still has been somewhat inconsistent, where we cannot have inconsistency against this passing offense, and that is Cordell Flott. Cordell Flott, you are my giant factor this week. Obviously, we know that Deonte Banks, he's a CB1 first-round pick. Obviously, he needs to be good every single week. But can Cordell Flott bring some sort of stability as a CB2 against a very, very big test against T. Higgins? Arguably the tougher test, the toughest test out of Brandon Cooks, Tyler Lockett. Then you have T. Higgins this week, and I would say T. Higgins, as he's playing right now, is the toughest test out of those 3 guys. Cordell Flott, step up, be a giant factor, continue to make plays on the football. We need you, man. Be a giant factor.
Jolly, who's your giant factor for the week?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I was between a defensive guy and an offensive guy. I thought about Azeez, but I kind of in line with you. I just feel like it's going to be a pass-heavy game, and there's not going to be much they can do. And this giant factor may end up being nothing if the RB1 is healthy and plays, but I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. I want his last week to not just be a flash in the pan, especially if he gets another big opportunity this week. It's going to be a ground-heavy game, like Bobby said before, and if he does end up being the RB1, he can make a statement against a team that's been pretty vulnerable on defense throughout this entire season by putting together another monster game, and plus, we can start to hype him up as a potential draft win for the Giants, which we haven't been able to do a lot the past 3 seasons with a ton of guys. So Tyrone Tracy, be a giant factor.
Love that.
I like that pick. You want to know why? because my Giant factor is Devin Singletary.
Nice.
You're still the RB1 on this team for now. If you want to keep that job, this is the game to do it. Right? I'm not going to sit here and bore us with run schemes. Just go out there and show that running backs matter and that you, like, if you're going to be the better running back than Tyrone Tracy, it's now. It is time now. Remind people, because now you have fumbles. Their rookie running back and Tyrone Tracy, who's more athletic than you. We're excited about that guy. So show that you are still a starting back in the NFL and go kick ass against the worst rushing defense in the NFL. Hold on to the football. Make the most of every catch that you get and be a Giant factor. Devin Singletary, get back in people's good graces and be a Giant factor. How about that? All right, it's time for spread picks. Before we get into spread picks, who is bringing us spread picks, Jolly Olive?
Jolly is going to tell you, Bobby, about DraftKings Sportsbook. There's a chill in the air. Leaves are falling to the ground. Penik picks them up and eats them. And football is on every weekend. That is what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more excited by getting into the action with our partners, the DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets when you use promo code WORLD, WORLD. Download their app right now. Use that promo code WORLD. Bet $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Then you can use that bonus bet money on the Giants money line and make even more money. That is promo code WORLD only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Thank you to them. You'll be glad you did.
I just got the picture of just me just picking leaves up from the ground.
You
and
seem
just
like a
eating
kid
them.
that might eat dirt. So like I
should
ate
eat
dirt when I
dirt.
was younger. I ate some dirt. What did you say?
It's good for your immune system for kids to eat dirt.
So there you go. So you should have done it more, honestly.
Yeah.
This video
Back
is
in my
sponsored
day,
by
kids
dirt.
used to drink out of water hoses and all that shit. Have you?
Chew on rocks and all that.
What was the other part of that meme? It's like we used to drink out of water hoses. And I can't remember.
I did drink out of water hose. That's what I did.
I mean, that's not that out of the ordinary.
Mets are playing this Sunday the same time as the Giants are.
I'm locked in this.
8:15.
Mets are still playing.
Are the Mets going
Finish
to the World
sentence there.
Series?
I think we are. So I'm going to be doing my best here, but I'm going to be focused on that for a little bit.
A Subway Series.
You might get it.
A Subway Series would be nuts.
I don't want to get ahead
How
of
old are you,
myself.
Jolly?
I'm 25.
Oh, so you have no memory of the 2000s.
No, I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your memory stinks. That's like one of my first baseball real memories. Like I remember the Yankees just were winning at that time, but I was like the Subway Series were the games I remember.
We might freaking get it, man. This is a football pod.
Yeah. I hope
Football
we throw a
pod.
bat at whoever your catcher is.
No one even likes baseball.
That's true. How many people will tune in the state of New York to the Mets versus the Giants game? What do you think will get more views in just the state of New York?
Giants on primetime for sure is going to get more views than the Mets
Yeah.
playoff game. Absolutely.
Which is
The fact that it's a
bullshit.
night game is kind of surprising, knowing that New York is one of the major markets in the game.
The fact that baseball did that,
Yeah, because they could have went like 4 p.m.
they maybe should have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spread picks. I'm in my own head here.
Whoa.
I went 3-5 last week. I'm 4. Like every single pick I make, I'm just like overthinking it now.
You're stinking it up, man.
Yeah, because
Jeez.
I've been so good. I had so much confidence, and this year I'm 14-26.
It's bad.
I'm like, is doing football today making me actually pick better because I know more about the teams and I think too much about it? Like I don't know what. I may quit football today just to get better at spread picks. I'm in last place. Justin's in second to last at 17-23 after a 4-4 week. Jolly stays at 500, 20-20 after a 4-4 week. And the listeners, man, continue to pull away. 6-2 last week. They are 24-16. They are represented by the Trash Man, our good friend Kyle Begley. Thursday Night Football, 49ers at Seahawks plus 3.5. The listeners are going Seahawks. I'm going 49ers. Get me back on track, San Fran. Stop effing around and win some games. Justin, who do you got?
Seahawks.
Jolly.
Taking the 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks are rattled from their loss against the New York Giants.
Oh, I'm going with the listeners. Let's go.
Were the Seahawks a fraud 3-0 team?
So were the Steelers.
We'll find out tonight.
Yeah. Cardinals at Packers -5. Justin, what do you got in this one?
Cardinals cover and win.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is the Cardinals I think they're the every week they fool you, where it's like they have this amazing win one week and the next week they get blown out. So They had that nice win last week. I'm going Packers -5 this week. The listeners are going Packers. Jolly, who do you got?
Cardinals cover, but they don't win.
Alrighty. The debut of Drake May. How about that? I'm going to be tuned in for this game. Jolly, who do you got in this one?
That offensive line is unfortunately going to get Drake May killed. Give me the Texans by a lot.
I'm going Patriots +7.
Wow.
I don't think the Patriots defense is still really good. They're the number 9 defense in the NFL. I think they'll get some fits to the Texans offense, and Drake May gives you enough magic and glimpse to keep it like a 5-6 point game. So I'm going to go Patriots +7. Listeners are going Texans. Justin, who do you got?
The Patriots have the third worst third down defense in the NFL according to EPA per play. You want to know who's really good on third down? CJ Stroud. They don't have a good run game. Bobby Slowick and that offense constantly puts them in third and long situations. Actually, CJ Stroud has faced the longest average distance to go on third down, but he's eating regardless. Give me the Texans to cover.
Bucks at Saints +3.5. The debut of Spencer Rattler. Actually, we don't know if it's going to be Spencer Rattler.
Probably will be Spencer
Is it going to be Rat? The Rat
Probably
man?
will be. I mean, there's talking about Derek Carr being out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, but they might be the Hainer, the other Fresno State quarterback.
Well, let's go. And if we're wrong, then we're wrong. I'd rather be sexy and cool and talk about how Spencer Rattler's going to play.
You know what? Regardless, I'm going Bucks -3.5. Justin, who do you got?
Same here. I think that Bucks offense is too good. Now the Saints defense is good, but now here's the one element of surprise that the Saints have in their
Saints aren't
pocket.
going to be able to score points, I don't think, though.
But there's no film on Spencer Rattler on how this coaching staff is going to deploy him. That's the one thing that every team that is starting a new quarterback has on their side is that it's very tough for an opposing team to prepare for that. But still, I'm going Bucks. Jolly.
Jack?
What did you call him?
Jack.
Torn. Bucks they're a weird team this year, man.
So are the Saints.
The only defense that really slowed down the Bucks though was the Broncos. But they have a great defense.
I
This
know,
year.
but still,
Broncos are 3-2.
which is nuts.
Playing the Chargers.
I'll go Bucks. I've been riding with the Bucks most weeks, and it kind of bit me. I think it bit me last week because I chose
Yeah, they lost in overtime.
Bucks to win. Yeah, instead of Falcons to cover. I'll go Bucks.
Actually, I think you might have actually been the one that got to pick Falcons.
Did I pick Falcons to cover?
I don't remember.
I don't remember picking number one.
Commanders at Ravens -6.5. Everyone's really excited for this game. Listeners are going Commanders. I'm going Ravens. I'm going Ravens. At some point, somebody's going to beat the shit out of the Commanders. The Ravens are going to do it. Jolly, who do you got?
I'm going with a hedge. I want the Commanders to get exposed, but I'm going to pick them here in case they don't. So if they do get exposed, then I'm happy, and if they don't, then I get a point in fantasy.
You love hedging happiness.
I love hedging.
Jolly loves hedging. Please note
Justin?
that. I'm also going Ravens. Think this is the game where there's a weak point of the Commanders roster, right? It's their offensive line and it's their secondary, and it really hasn't showcased at any point this year. I think the Ravens are going to be the ones to showcase that bad secondary.
All right. Chargers at Broncos +3. Chargers coming off the bye week, which we know is not a good thing. People say that's a good thing. It's not. But still, I got to push forward with my Chargers agenda. There's no way that Bo Nix is scoring points on the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. Chargers -3. The listeners agree. Justin, do you agree?
Yeah, I do, man. I don't believe in Bo Nix. No matter how much I love this Broncos defense, no matter how much I love their aggression, this may be low scoring and ugly, but I just trust that the Chargers are going to do enough on offense. They have Justin Herbert to win the game.
Jolly.
Yep, easiest pick of the week for me. I'm going Chargers.
Lions at Cowboys +3. It's the who is the offensive lineman eligible game. The Lions will be holding on to that. Justin, who do you got in this one? Come on.
Lions.
I got Lions too. Listeners got
Tough game
Lions.
to pick. It's a tough game to pick.
I'll be the contrarian. I'll go Cowboys. Kind of another hedge, not gonna lie. And they've just been like narrowly winning games. But if they do win this one, then I'll get a point.
This is a game where the Cowboys offense can really come alive against the Lions defense.
Yeah.
Cowboys. And then Monday Night Football. Robert Saleh fired.
Jeez.
Everything falling apart for the New York Jets. The listeners are going Jets plus 2.5. We got Bills at Jets plus 2.5. The listeners are going Jets plus 2.5. Jolly, who do you got?
Yeah, I don't think they rally over a head coach firing. I still find that move really bizarre. I think it would have been really funny if they hired Hackett and put him in that role. That would have just been great. I'm going Bills. I don't think it's going to be close to the spread.
Justin.
There's a tradition around here.
It's not a tradition, it's a fact.
Whenever a team fires their head coach for 1 week, they will look good.
Even
Raiders
Jeff
last year.
Saturday won his first game. It always happens. Think about how bad the Raiders offense was last year, and they kicked
They
the
won
shit
like the
out of
first
it.
3 games, right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
We just did a trivia video today where over under higher or lower. Do the Raiders have?
Yeah, they
more
won 8 games, right?
Did they have more than 6 wins last
So
year?
funny.
We just did that in a trivia video today. Yeah, so the Jets are going to cover. I mean, I also just low key think that the Jets have played the Vikings and the Broncos back-to-back weeks, which kind of freaking sucks for them, even though they are dysfunctional and everything like that. Bad matchups. The Bills are a little bit better of a matchup, and the Jets are just more talented than the Bills are. Give me the Jets.
And the Jets have had the Bills' number over the past couple of years, even with bad quarterback play. I'm going the Jets. I would have picked the Jets even if Robert Saleh was there, and I'm doubling down now that Robert Saleh is fired, even though I disagree with the decision by the Jets. I'm going Jets plus 2.5. Giants-Bengals score predictions. Jolly, what do you got?
The Giants win a barn burner shootout on Sunday Night Football. Final score 31-28.
Justin.
I also have them winning by a field goal. I said they need to score 30 points to win. Greg Joseph hits a game-winning field goal. Giants 33, Bengals 20. Bengals 30.
Couldn't stick the landing. Come on.
Bad radio.
Hey, that's what you just said is what you need, right? Field goals, field goals, field goals, field goals. Holding the field goals. All right, Sunday Night Football. Do it, please. Like I'm gonna give you a please, bro. Please, bro. Don't make us go through a Sunday Night Football loss again. Primetime football, like Giants fans. As Giants fans, we hate primetime football, right? We hate it because we've lost. We lost. Like their only Sunday Night Football win since the last 10 years is the Commanders game in 2022. Like they just have been really bad. Maybe not in the last 10 years. That's overreacting. But Daniel Jones has had an awful primetime record. Give us something to react to happily. Give us a win. And the Giants will win because they got to score points, and they're going to score 77. The Bengals are scoring 0. We will see you on Monday for a Victory Monday podcast, Sunday Night Football. Get ready, world, because we're coming for you. Until then, let's go Big Blue.